Okay. Hey, it's Stephanie. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm super excited because I have
Betsy.
and she owns the best consignment shop in town, and it is called Recycled Sally's. So if you are not from Baraboo, I feel like you should come check it out. It's kind of an institution.
I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I've made Recycled Sally's be the secondhand clothing store that I want to shop at. That's all it is. So I try to keep it organized and clean and well lit and keep the stock moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a decent store to shop in.
And it's like when I'm in there, there's always people bringing in new clothes.
Always.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always new clothes there.
There's always new clothes. And there's also every single day we mark clothing down. Because guess what? There's an infinite amount of secondhand clothing to be resold in this world. So it's constantly coming in. So you have to keep moving out what you had that didn't sell. So I keep marking it down.
Hence
So it'll move.
the dollar rack.
The dollar rack.
I don't know whose idea that was, but that's brilliant. Because, so Betsy has this dollar rack outside. Everything's a dollar, and it's nice stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't find anything on the dollar rack, it's just like, oh, I should go inside and see maybe there's something else in there.
Maybe there's something in there for $3. But like today, I put a shirt on the dollar rack. It's Free People, new with tags. And sometimes Free People stuff is a little bit, unique. It's not for everybody. But this wasn't even one of their more unique. It was just this cute plaid top. And then like an evergreen colored Michael Kors sweater. Perfect for Christmas. $1, Michael Kors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free People, that brand drives me nuts because it's like $1 million and
It is.
looks like rags.
Yeah. But people love it.
People love it because I think it's expensive.
It is. And I think once they put it on, I think it flatters a lot of types.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there is like a method to the madness.
I think so. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who were you before you were the owner of Recycled Sally's? What did you? Because it's been how long have you been in business? Like
14 years.
14 years, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was a waitress and I really enjoyed that. I definitely miss that. It's fun talking to people. It's fun eating food. It's fun serving food to people, I also worked for American Girl for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was another one where I had a very good time. I talked on the phone all day. I'm really good at that.
And were you at American Girl and then you started the business, or were you?
Yeah. I was at American Girl and I worked in Middleton, so I commuted every day. And after a while, after you have more and more children, you kind of go like, I don't think I can commute every day anymore. So I knew I needed something in town, and I ended up just going back to a job I had had prior, worked for a friend of mine at her restaurant that was really popular and just had great food and great service. So I knew I wanted to be part of it again. Went back to that. It worked with my family schedule and did that until I kind of like evolved this idea of Recycled Sally's in my brain. And there were even times after I opened Recycled Sally's that I would go back and work at the other restaurant and fill in or moonlight. Well, and like years ago downtown, there was a secondhand women and kids clothing store I enjoyed. And then even when we lived in Madison, there was a really popular one that I enjoyed. And they would just kind of close up and go away. And I was like, why do these stores that I love keep going away? Where am I going to shop? So I really just opened my own because I missed it. And I missed, like in Baraboo, and this was pre-internet. I mean, obviously when I opened the store, it was post-internet. But pre-internet shopping in Baraboo, you didn't have a ton of options. And so I liked this secondhand women and kids store because you had more options than you might otherwise without having to go to Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's another one now. I mean, there have been a few coming and going. So without giving away all your secrets, is it just because you love what you do every day? Do you think that's what
I think that's a big part of it? Because if any business advisor walked in and looked at my books up until the last few years, he would be like, why on earth are your doors still open? Why did you not throw in the towel and get out while you were ahead, or not even ahead, but less behind, and go do something profitable? Because it took a really long time because the consignment business takes a lot of work. You always have to have extra people working so that you can going through clothing and selling the clothing and organizing the clothing and tagging it and hanging it and all the parts to it. You end up paying out a lot more in wages than you might with any other retail store.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's the hang up of.
Yeah, that's the hang up. The trick is to get good people in that enjoy doing it just like you do, that you enjoy, because you're always working together behind the counter. It's not like you're at your station doing your job and I'm over here doing my job. You're always kind of jiving together. So you have to be able to get along or it's not going to work. Nobody has to come shop in your store if you're fighting or don't have kind of a good atmosphere.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I would go in there, everyone's always super nice.
We try. We try. Yeah.
And you're so full. You have the downstairs, which is kids, and then upstairs is women's and men's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, what do you do if stuff doesn't sell?
That's when it hits the dollar rack.
And then what?
And then it goes to St. Vincent de Paul, who does a ton of really good stuff in our community. With every penny they earn, they're paying, rent payments and filling prescriptions and providing food and clothing and whatever other needs people have, St. Vincent's is doing. So we're happy to donate this little bit of clothing to them to help.
Yeah.
But also we send people there all day long to go shopping.
I actually had to use them one time when I was going through my first divorce. I was so late on my mortgage.
Yeah.
That I couldn't pay it. And they were able to pull some strings because it's only supposed to be rent.
Mm-hmm.
But they were able to help me.
You're not the first person I've heard say that they've helped you with a mortgage payment.
Yeah. And I was so ashamed. And they were so just like not judgmental whatsoever.
Right. That's just it. They're not judgmental. Yeah. And there's no reason to be ashamed anyway, regardless of what happened. But here's the thing. They can help you pay this mortgage payment that you have, or you can lose your house. And how on earth do you pay rent when you can't pay a mortgage?
Yeah.
And so many places when they give you vouchers if you're homeless, they give you vouchers maybe for a couple of days because the reality is there's just not money to do more than that.
Yeah.
So why not do the mortgage and continue on?
And it's a good time of year to be charitable.
It is. I mean, it's always a good time of year to be charitable, I suppose. But definitely right now, because Christmas is a good opportunity to help other people. Someone very close to me told me recently about something she did, 35 years ago. She said, "Oh, I used to send money to this family via certified mail." Because that was back before we had all these options online to send money. And she couldn't send a check or they would have known it was from her. And she would put cash into an envelope and send it certified mail so that you have to sign for the delivery and it gets there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's fun to hear stuff like that. But so Christmas just gives you a good opportunity to help somebody else if you can. And it doesn't have to be with money. It can be with holding open the door or saying hi.
Yeah.
I made extra food tonight, so I dropped some off at my neighbor's. And nobody has to be in need to be helped. We're all in need all the time.
Yeah.
You have
such a good heart. No, I'm serious. You really do.
I've just had a lot of really good people in my life and it's just brushed off.
Yeah. But that's I get really stuck this time of year in my head about finances and am I gonna be able to here we go again.
We have to pay rent. We have to pay self-employment tax.
Yeah.
Which
taxes are coming up.
Taxes are coming up and they're gross.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what we do.
Yeah.
Live in this country and have schools and roads and police.
And but what you're bringing up is this whole other aspect of, you can sit here and stew about it and stress about it, or you could go do something that matters to somebody.
Yeah. But I feel like come from a place of privilege too.
Right.
Because
we all do.
Yeah.
Here.
I mean, we all have different privileges, but I definitely, I'm able to finally actually have a little extra for like the first time in my adult life. So
Congratulations.
I worked really hard to get here.
I was thinking this morning, I'm like, oh, I thought I would be farther along. I really did. I thought I'd be better. But that's just my own selfish, stupid thinking, and I don't want to be like negative about that. But
No. And we all have
work.
different things that we have or don't have or go without or indulge in, and it's different for everybody. And but yeah, I know. I sit there and I go, oh, I'm feeling really good. But then you think about like the debt that you can accumulate when you have 5 children and you have your own business and
Single mom.
Yeah.
All things.
Oh well.
Right. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be so much worse.
Yeah.
So what are your Christmas traditions?
Well, my mom's birthday is Christmas Eve.
Oh, so you do have okay.
Yeah. So it's my mom's.
I know you didn't birth her, so you don't have to.
I know. And she would really, really prefer I not purchase anything for her. So we typically like have a meal together, breakfast or lunch. We used to go out for that meal, but now we typically just get together at her house or my house, and that's it. It's nothing fancy or crazy, and it's just being together. Christmas morning, just waking up with the kids and having them open presents.
Yeah, that's simple.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as gifts go, do you kind of like what do you typically do for like kids?
Right? Yeah, I know, because so many people have like a dollar amount, so they're fair to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a 9-year-old and I have a 23-year-old, and their wants are very different. And so each kid gets 3 gifts. Period.
Yeah,
3 things you want that I can afford, that are accessible, that I don't think are stupid.
Yes, no.
Yep. You can ask for that, but if you think it's dumb, you're not getting it.
When I was a stepmom and we had all the kids, like we were that's how we were too. It's like, okay, everyone gets a certain amount of gifts.
Right.
Hopefully within the price range, but sometimes somebody wanted something more. And I guess, this is a really good subject of just like what happens when they're older and what do you do and
right. Well, and there's families where the kids are older, so they don't do Christmas quite the same way. Maybe you do like 1 gift per couple, or you don't do gifts for the kids because you're doing the grandkids, and you just kind of have to evolve your traditions, I think, as it goes and what works. Oh, that means it's time for school pickup. That's that alarm.
Do you have to go?
No, I don't. Thank you though.
What time do you have to leave?
I don't. My dad's doing it.
Oh, sweet. Oh.
Yeah, you could add.
We'll cut that out a little bit. Yeah, and so what were you saying?
We're talking about kids and buying them gifts, and at what point do we maybe not, or cut down, or it's different for everybody, whatever works.
Well, I'm 43, I think, and my mom told me for the first time she's not buying gifts.
It's for everybody. Because I am 44. It's been a really long time since my parents. I mean, like, occasionally my mom might be like, she figured out how to buy something on Facebook last year, so she bought me this really cute chicken ornament, so she'll do that.
Yeah.
But then maybe 15 years prior to that, didn't anything, which is fine. I mean, she'll give me the money and whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Sad Christmas. That's so hard. Yeah.
You have to bring your own present all wrapped up. Just put it under your mom's tree. To Stephanie, love.
Yeah. I just be like, oh my
gosh, this is just what I wanted. It's a funnel
car. That's what I should do.
Yeah.
Buy myself a car and stick it outside.
What?
Who did this?
Except that your car is fairly new.
I know. I'm so mad at myself for buying it. Again, this time of year, right?
Right.
But I did.
You did. And your car prior to that, you drove for quite some time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I honestly, I did it because like my payments, I still had like 2 years left to pay on that stupid thing. And my payments were skyrocketing.
You were sending it off to the shop to get fixed and not having a car. And
yeah. So, the new car gets better gas mileage and it's a smaller car payment. So
Yeah.
um yeah. So what did you before before the business and before American Girl and before serving, so no. All the way back, what did you want to be when you were a little girl?
I wanted to get married and have babies.
Oh,
Yeah, I really knocked it out of the park.
good for you.
Yep. I was like, I remember being in, I don't know, eighth grade, whatever class, we were talking about careers, and our teacher was like, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, stay-at-home mom. I want to have babies. I want to get married. And I was the only one in the class. I'm like, I was the weirdo. I thought that was just the greatest thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did your mom stay home?
She did when we were really little. Actually, I mean, she did, and she babysat during the day, and then at night she waitressed. So, but like, she was home.
Yeah.
And then even once we went to school, she worked, but she worked at the school.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
That's what I did. Turns out my stay-at-home mom, Christian, I had to work full-time. Sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. But I was fine.
Yeah, you stuck to it. No, you didn't. You did a good job. And you're still doing it. But
yeah, you don't get to quit. Once you have kids, you're kind of in it to win it.
yeah. I know.
Okay.
It is. And it's actually, now that my kids are older, it's so awesome that when I see people with younger kids still that are my age, it's like, oh, they still get to believe in the magic of Christmas. And
yeah,
I'm finding that harder and harder.
Yeah. It's definitely a transition. Yeah.
You can keep talking.
Jake. Yeah. It's different once your kids grow up, and you have to, I just think sometimes, for me anyway, we just work harder to keep the traditions, to talk that Santa's coming tonight and there's going to be presents to open from Santa in the morning, or that we're still going to put a Christmas tree up. That's something that means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're a pain in the butt. It costs money. It's like not super good for the environment. It's a giant mess. It's a time commitment, but it's something that means a lot to me to have that in the house.
Yeah, you do a fresh one, right?
Yes. Yeah, and it came to my house last night.
Oh,
so yeah, December 16th, I got a tree. Well, that's not even my latest tree.
How long will it stay up for?
Probably my birthday or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, it'll stay up until I take the time to take it down. Because once it's up, I'm like, I don't want to deal with it again. I just put it up.
When you're taking off the ornaments and everything's like falling apart.
Yeah. You've got this fire hazard in the corner of the living room. Yeah. That you maybe haven't watered in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I know I had a dog that would always just want to drink the water. It's so freaking weird.
We had a cat that did that. And even now when I water it, the cat is like, what are you doing with this water and with this giant toy that you just brought me into the house? This climbing tree, Oh, she's intrigued by it all. But she usually leaves it alone, too.
Did I know that you had a cat? You have a cat.
I have a cat.
Is it a nice cat?
She's a little antisocial.
Okay.
My hard part with her is I'm like, you are another responsibility. You are another living responsibility. And I have 5 kids, and I have 2 bonus kids, and I have my kids' friends who I want to, care for in some manner if I can. And
yeah,
this cat, no, not a cat.
Yeah, I forget about that with my stepkids. It was never just 4. It was there was always friends over.
Friends.
Oh, I miss those days of all the friends. It was so chaotic, but it
is chaotic. Yeah. And sometimes I feel bad for some of the kids because, my kids, they know they're one of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But then you add in Matt's kids. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to bring a zoo to your house every time we have any sort of family meal together. There is a zoo showing up.
Mm-hmm. And how do they react to it?
Oh my gosh, they're amazing. They're wonderful. Yeah. Everybody jives. Everybody gets along. Everybody has fun. It just works. But it's still fun every time.
And so do you guys have a new tradition just for you guys? Or is it?
Yeah. We try to do family suppers together, like weekly even, just for whoever's available, whoever can come over. We'll eat supper together. Sometimes it's takeout. Sometimes it's, it's all sorts of different stuff. It's cookout. It's make your own pizzas. It's breakfast. It's Chinese night. It's Italian night. All sorts. I mean, yeah. I hate making supper every other night of the week. It's annoying.
Like, come over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can. That's the other part of it. And you can come. If you show up, we feed you. Yeah. But it's like the one night of the week that I enjoy feeding everybody and planning the meal and thinking about what we're making. And the rest of the week, I'm like, just find some cereal. You're fine.
I doubt that. Well, maybe, but
Well, my kids aren't big eaters. And they all want something different than the other one. So, like, you can just figure it out.
and with Gavin, he's gonna be 17 tomorrow, and it's funny because he still expects me to make him dinner.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what's for dinner? It's like, I don't know. I just ate cheese. Like,
Right. That's why you have your kids work in restaurants, which I know Gavin has done this.
yeah,
Yeah. And then,
burned out. Or
right. Yeah. It's closed momentarily. But yeah, that's the beautiful thing about working in a restaurant is your kid then eats at work.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And with him, in theory, he should be enjoying cooking more.
In theory.
But the actuality is he would prefer mom still make all the meals. And
yeah,
it's like, I don't know where you've been the last few years, but that doesn't happen anymore.
No, there's definitely cheese. Here's the cheese.
Just ate cheese. There's still some left.
There's a knife on the counter that's not quite dirty, not quite clean. Help yourself.
Yeah. But I've gone through all the stages of, like I went to the library with the little one. And we always got the books and did the programs and then did concert on the square. Like all of the things this small town Baraboo has to offer.
We really, like our community, we're very blessed that we have so many different things to offer. If we lived closer logistically to Madison, I think there might be less because then you just go like, well, we can just go to Madison and go to the concert on the square. We can, go there for whatever. So sometimes you don't see as much when you're a little bit closer to a larger city.
Yeah.
I think we're just far enough away and we have a lot of great people in our community that make it happen.
Yeah. And when you're in it, when you're doing all the things, you don't think, oh, someday this is going to be a memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're just doing.
You're filling your time.
Yeah.
How can I not sit in the house for one more day?
Yeah. Yeah.
What can we do outside of the house for a minute?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's maybe you just need to talk to another adult. That's a big deal.
Right. And you know what what I now am part of is the dog park people.
Oh, that makes sense for you though.
Mm-hmm.
It's really close to here and do you have a dog?
Yeah. And so it's and someday the dog park is going to be a distant memory.
Oh.
However, right now what I do
is normal. You look forward to it, I bet.
I do. It's one of my favorite things of the day is to go walk my dog. And another thing that I do is there's trails around the water treatment. Treatment.
I didn't realize there were trails over there. Mm-hmm. I know about the trails through like the Arboretum and I love those trails.
Oh yeah, those
when they're short, which is great.
They're short. And there's a park over there.
Yep. And there's a little creek that goes through, which is just fun to poke through. Unless it's summer, it's all overgrown. You can't get near it.
We've got so many parks now in Baraboo.
I know. We have movers and shakers that make it happen.
We do.
We do.
I should have them on my podcast. Then they'd make me feel really great.
You might end up on a committee. Serious.
I know.
Really careful.
I know. I don't know if I haven't.
Somebody asked me to be on the park committee.
Oh.
And like, I am just, even still, I'm not at a place in my life to say like, yes, I can join up. I can commit to showing up and participating in this. I'm still not at that point. I'd love to be. I'm not. But instead of me just saying no, I'm like, oh, you should ask so-and-so. And I dragged somebody else into it. And she joined. So that's great. Then I didn't feel as bad.
Right. And they're like, well, Betsy said you'd be great.
I think I asked her first. But...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This sweater you got me is kind of itchy.
Oh, maybe you need the long sleeve shirt under it. It looks like somebody sewed these on. Again, I'm curious if somebody did or if it came like this.
I think it came like it.
Okay.
I mean, somebody somewhere sewed it.
Yeah, somebody somewhere sewed it on. I just don't know. It was before or after. Yeah, it's a fun one.
How many sweaters do you have at Recycled Sally's right now?
Christmas sweaters? Not very many, like a handful. We've got Christmas t-shirts, Christmas sweatshirts.
Yeah.
You know, there's just kind of a variety. They come in, they go out.
Yeah. Let's talk about small town again, because I think that's like such a heart and soul subject, and it's such a great time of year to talk about that. What is your favorite part about having a business downtown?
It really is just the being downtown. You really take it for granted. Like I grew up here, you know, and then I worked downtown for a lot of my life. And you kind of take it for granted until you start thinking about other towns. And what one of my customers, not from Baraboo, once told me the big deal with Baraboo is we don't have a main highway running through our downtown. Because that really can bisect your area. You know, then you're less likely to have that foot traffic. And like with us having the square too, it really gets kind of hallmarky when you go outside and everybody's like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just embellish on it. We're like, you know what? This is really sweet. Let's hang up the Christmas lights. Let's pipe in some Christmas music. Let's throw some picnic tables on the courthouse lawn for during the summer. It's just fun. It's just community.
And I feel like you have your own community that go to the store.
I do.
Every time I'm in there, like I know you, and sometimes I know somebody else, but you are always like, hey, Sally, hey, Claire, hey, you know,
You get to know them because they have consignor accounts. So I need to know, hey, Steph, here's how much money you have on your account. Oh, you're bringing me clothing for your account. Like you kind of, it takes me a while to figure out who's who, but you have to know who's who so that I can tell you have money and I can take your clothing and put it on your account. So then you figure it out over 14 years with people that I've run into, you know, and had in my store over and over.
And so you went through, and I can take this out if you don't want to talk about it, but you went through a divorce. And what is it like for you? Because I had another woman on last week who went through a divorce, business owner in the community. What did you ever feel? Because you always just seem to embrace change, and you seem to embrace the moment really, really well. Did you ever feel vulnerable or?
I mean, yeah, you do feel vulnerable, and especially when you own a business in a small town like this, like everybody knows who you are. And so if you've got anything going on, probably they know your business. So I just always assume everybody knows my business, and I just try to roll with it. I try to have a thick skin, even though I don't. I try to have a thick skin and just figure like, well, that's life. That's how it goes. There's no getting it. I mean, it is what it is. So it's not anything fun. It's not something you want to do, but sometimes it happens. And
yeah, what does keep you up at night, or doesn't?
All sorts of random anxieties, not normal things. Not like, oh my goodness, what if I get sick and I can't care for my children? No, none of that. I'm like, what if, you know, like, not this extreme, but, you know, like, what if zombies take over? And like, it's just dumb stuff that isn't even going to happen. That's the kind of stuff I worry about.
So you worry about zombies?
Or not really. No, I really don't worry about zombies at all. I don't believe in like ghosts or any of that, so I don't worry about that stuff. But there's just certain things that are like so not ever going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
And then
so dumb. And I'm so logical about so much stuff. Not that.
Not your sleeping brain.
Not my sleeping brain and my fears and my insecurities. And
so I had a really interesting moment the other day because you and I went to see New Kids on the Block together.
Oh, that was fun.
It was not what I was expecting.
No, it was different than the last times I've gone. But
I thought they did a great job.
They did. Yeah, they did.
It was just like my childhood self like wanted to see them so badly when I was 11.
Right.
And I didn't have any taste in music.
No. We didn't have options, you know? We didn't have iPods. We didn't have Pandora and Spotify. We had like, if our older siblings left a cassette tape play somewhere, or if mom happened to turn the radio on to like not 94.9, and we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it.
But we're so lucky that we are not New Kids on the Block because they have not been able to change
No.
anything about themselves.
They have to stay in like really good shape to keep dancing like that and moving and I think they have a pretty vigorous touring schedule, you know, and then they do their cruises and
Yeah.
yeah.
And they sing the same, like they have new songs, but nobody knows.
We don't want to hear those. We want to hear Hangin' Tough. I don't care who you are. It's 1989. Play me Hangin' Tough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which one was your favorite?
I always liked Joe because here again is my logical self. He's the youngest, so I thought he was the most attainable.
Oh,
yeah. He was the one I was gonna get.
I always liked John because he was quiet and mysterious.
He was.
I think he still is.
I think they were all a catch in their own way.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. Yeah. You know, and I think back to all the, when I think about it, it's like, oh, that was just yesterday.
Right?
And it's like, no, that wasn't
No.
yesterday. That was at least 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. 13. Yeah. 13 is like, I was way over.
You were over it. Yeah. I had an older brother, so I got over things quicker because he made fun of me until I was like, oh, no, you're right. I don't like them because I am cool.
Yeah.
In my corduroy skirt and turtleneck, I'm super cool.
And to go back to my bedroom that had all the New Kids on the Block pictures taped to the wall from
cut out of the magazine.
Teen Beat and
Tiger Beat?
Oh, was it
something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there was like Teen Beat and Tiger Beat and 17 Teen.
Yeah.
There was a lot of options.
There was. And you know who I actually wanted to talk to you about today was Amy Grant.
Oh, Amy Grant.
Did you ever listen to Amy Grant?
Not a ton. But growing up in a Catholic household, you know, she was one of those names where it was like, what if you listen to Amy Grant? You know, and she was fine. Like I could handle that. She was normal compared to some of the other stuff my mom might want me to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Christmas music.
Right. I think that's what I've been hearing lately. Yeah.
I really like Christmas music, but I like fairly traditional and I like singing along with it. I like it to be pretty.
I feel like you lived in town or not, or
well, in West Fairview, but yeah. I mean, not in the country.
For whatever reason, the music I listened to was so obscure. Growing up, the school I went to there was like 12 of us in grade.
Yeah.
And so somebody's older brother liked Aerosmith. So then we all, 12 of us, Aerosmith. Or, you know, my grandma liked Amy Grant. So, of course, I'll get you an Amy Grant tape.
I listened to a lot of Beach Boys because my dad liked Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I was like, well, they're obviously cool.
Yeah. And somehow I got stuck on Celine Dion for a while. Like, what in the hell? Like, I love it.
Dion. Yeah, but then like Titanic came out. So
pre-Titanic.
Right.
But
yeah.
Who turned me on to Celine Dion? Like, are you kidding? So who were some of the musicians that you gravitated towards? Like that 11, 12-year-old age?
I liked Celine Dion. Oh. I liked anything that was on the radio. Any like one-hit wonder, you know, like Ace of Base. You know, prior to that I always liked the female singers. I liked Tiffany. I liked Debbie Gibson. I liked the Bangles a lot. Yeah, but I also liked Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Because he was good looking, right?
He's a hottie. Yeah, still is.
He kind of still is.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and then it was just anything trendy. It was anything on Z104 I liked. And that I could buy at Kmart. That I could get my cassette tape at Kmart.
In the music section of Kmart?
Yep. Quite the variety.
And was there, so Eisenberg's, I don't know why we're talking about this.
Let's talk about Eisenberg.
Yeah, I remember Eisenberg's. I remember the toy section, but what else did they have there?
They had everything. I remember I loved Christmas time at Eisenberg's because you walked in and there was like the checkout counter and then right behind it was all the Christmas aisles and they had lots of aisles of ornaments. And I've always loved ornaments, which is why I have like 500. So I would walk up and down the aisles and look at that. But they had I think you could get like some baby stuff there. I know they had a decent VHS selection because I think we rented them there. I think they had electronics, bikes, games, housewares.
What?
I remember there being a lot of breakable stuff up front on the one end,
Okay.
like fancy candles and vases and things. But yeah, they had a lot of good stuff. It was kind of the one-stop shop.
Before Kmart? Or was
I mean, like, Kmart was there too.
so we're right next door?
But it was kind of the small town option. You know, like most towns had an Ace Hardware or a Ben Franklin or something like that. I mean, yeah, we had Woolworths downtown until like 1988. And then we also had Eisenberg's. Then we had Kmart and then we had Prime and Plate. We had options.
Sears.
And
That was
Sears was, yeah, after Kmart.
oh
Yeah. But that was before the internet. And so if you needed something, you got it there. And even like probably Eisenberg's and those places drove out some of the small shops that used to be downtown. There used to be hobby shops downtown. There was like at least one, I think two sporting goods stores. You know, there were multiple shoe stores. There were multiple hardware stores all in a row.
And you remember this?
Well, some of it I remember and some of it I just have seen photos.
Yeah.
Heard stories about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in Portage, so it's a little bit different. Like, but I know I think the same thing happened. And same thing happened at every small town.
Yeah. You guys had Spurgeon's.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of your version, I think, of Eisenberg's.
Yeah, and I kind of remember Spurgeon.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had Spurgeon's too, downtown.
Yeah.
You know, 40 years ago.
40 years ago. What is your favorite thing about growing up in a small town? Because there's like, we just talked about everybody knows your business. So there's some like...
But at the same time, like there's comfort in that for me because I'm kind of outgoing sometimes. And so I like knowing who I run into. I like seeing people and waving. You know, earlier when I ran out quick and I saw your neighbor who I know and I was all excited to see her. And I'm sure she was like, but
yeah,
she humored me and waved back.
She probably was like, is Betsy living here?
Right?
And then now that'll be the rumor.
Right. I'll just start parking out front. Just walk to work from here.
You should.
Should. You know I love a good shenanigan. And I could use some steps.
Yeah, it's a nice walk.
It is. I mean, you're going to go uphill though both ways. That's the problem.
That is, yeah, that's good though.
Because I literally thought about that today. I was like, if I left early, I could walk to steps, but I'll have to walk up that hill and I'm not ready to commit to that today.
Yeah, this hill is way better
than that hill.
Yeah.
That one's a little steeper. Yeah.
When I get to the coffee shop, I'm always like,
oh, yeah, but setting it up there and you can't tell them your order because you're still trying to breathe.
Yeah, like I just walked. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They know me.
Yeah.
I think for me, living in a small town, the best part is sharing it, talking about it to other people.
Yeah.
That haven't been here. Like, oh, well, this is where you got to go to eat. This is where the coffee shop are.
I do that all day long at the store.
Yeah.
And I'm nosy about it. I pick up on some little bit that makes me think you're not from here. And I'm like, hey, where are you from? What are you doing in town? Where are you going to go when you leave here? What are your lunch plans? What are your supper plans?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I maybe don't go that hard on each person, but I suppose. I usually, a lot of times the husbands will get parked by me and then I'm like, what are your supper plans?
Mm-hmm.
And then I give them recommendations.
Yeah. What's your, oh, no, I'm not going to ask that.
Well, no, and I don't have a go-to.
Oh, okay.
I base it on who I'm talking to and like feeling out and kind of like what's fun that day too. You know, is it summertime that they can dine outdoors somewhere? Maybe that will factor into it. Or if they've got family or, yeah, I send them all over the place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Culver's.
Sure.
They're really out of town. Well, I suppose Culver's.
Culver's is like everywhere now. I was thinking about that earlier. They're in so many states, which is great for folks. But also like, that was always our thing. Well, you could come to Culver's. Mm-hmm. And now they're like, no, we have Culver's.
Yeah. We have the cheese.
Okay, well, those are not real fried cheese curds. Like, they're delicious. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. If you don't have any fried cheese curds, that's a great option. But if you've been to the state fair,
yeah.
Yeah.
Del Bar has really good. I was trying to think of
Yes.
I've had really good.
Yes, Del Bar has really good cheese curds. We could really start name dropping a lot of cheese curd places. Just about everywhere has really good cheese curds. Is really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what's another Baraboo thing that
I like that I can leave and walk somewhere and get to most places that I might need to go by walking.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have public transit. You're not going to catch a bus to go somewhere, even a taxi. Not if you are going to go somewhere timely because they kind of have like a schedule. But yeah, if I need to run somewhere, chances are I can go on foot.
yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
I feel the same way. I've always lived pretty close to downtown since I've been in Baraboo. It's like a radius. I just kind of switch.
Yeah, well, and it's a priority for me when I'm, looking at where I'm going to live. I'm like, well, it's a little far away from downtown. I don't want to live there.
Yeah. I thought for a while that I would want to move closer to Madison because so much of my work is in Madison now. And, driving from here to Madison and then maybe, let's say, Sun Prairie. By the time I'm like done driving downtown and Sun Prairie, Costco, all of it, I am so ready to get back to Baraboo.
Yeah. There's a lot of people around.
Yeah.
And you don't see any familiar face. I mean, like maybe you see a familiar face or two, but it's not like here.
It's just so different. Here, I feel like, yeah, we have like really slow drivers, but we all watch out for one another.
Right.
And I think that's like the best part about small town. In Madison, it's like everyone's kind of out for their own.
Right. Because they don't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know that they could look out for you or whatever.
Yeah. The slow person, somebody's grandma that we know.
Right.
Likely.
Right. Oh, I'm always saying that to kids in my store. Like, who's your mom? I think I know your mom. Who's your mom? Poor kids.
What's your last name?
What's your last name?
Yeah, we're like one step away from my mom. When I talk to her, she's like, "Do you know so-and-so?" I'm like, "No, I don't know them." "Oh, well, they've got cancer." Okay.
I know. Well, our poor parents are in that season of life now. They've got funerals to attend and people to worry about.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've been hearing it from my mom for years.
Yeah. So we should be lucky. We should feel grateful for the moments
for what we've got right now.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll leave it at that.
I think so.
I think just being grateful this time of year for what we have.
Right.
Friendships, businesses,
good health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking one moment at a time.
I'm very much a glass half full person. You know this. But I'm always just like, it could be so much worse. It could just be so much worse. And I would just need to keep reminding myself that too. When I worry about the zombies coming to get me at night or whatever.
Yeah, you need to write it down. Could be worse.
Could be worse. The cat could eat my face and my...
Oh, that's only if you're dead.
Oh, is that the rule? Okay.
Yeah, they only eat you if you're dead. And you don't feed them. I suppose if you don't feed them.
I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for being here.
On that note, thanks for having me, Steph.